Hi, friends. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Katie. And welcome to Okay, But Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Once Upon a Time, episode 410, Shattered Sight. This episode aired on December 7th, 2014. It was written by Scott Nimmerfro and Se Chun, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and was directed by Gwyneth Horder Payton. And now, before we get into our recapping and chatting, let's go over a synopsis for Shattered Sight. In the past, after her adventure with Lily, Emma is sent to a new foster home where the other kids try to make her life a living hell. Ingrid, the woman whose home they're in, takes a liking to Emma, instantly forming a connection with her and making her feel safe and welcome to be who she is. One day, when they're out at the fair, Ingrid thinks that she sees a spark in Emma, something special, and she reveals that she's planning to adopt her. She promises to be the best big sister Emma ever had. But when she tests that spark to see if Emma's magic is starting to manifest, Emma runs away. Distraught, Ingrid uses the scroll the apprentice gave her and finds her way into Storybrooke, where she waits for Emma. Their first meeting doesn't go as Ingrid had hoped, and she's forced to take Emma's memories using rock troll magic so that they can have a chance at a fresh start. And today, the curse of Shattered Sight is in full effect. While Belle sleeps through it peacefully and Rumpel makes arrangements to leave with his wife and grandson, the townsfolk begin to tear each other apart. Despite her best efforts, Anna is unable to calm down Snow and Charming as they go at each other. Emma and Elsa realize that the only way to end the spell will be to kill Ingrid, and to do that, they need to get the ribbons off their wrist. They realize that if her love put them on, hate of equal measure can get them off, and they release the evil queen so that she will attack Emma and burn off the ribbons. While she's busy fighting off Snow, Emma, Elsa, and Anna confront Ingrid. Anna had found a bottle with a message from her mother apologizing for everything and explaining how Anna and Elsa can make it right. Ingrid realizes what she's done and what she's let her magic turn herself into. She returns Elsa and Emma's memories of her so that they can live on as she joins her sisters, ending the curse and freeing everyone from their torment.
Torment.
It was torment. So
it was hilarious.
It torment. Was. I do want to start. So the fact that I didn't remember that Leroy was in this is not unfounded. He's barely in this.
And he doesn't get the lines I hope for. Like, I actually wrote down because he was like, he's coming. And I ain't happy. I was like, not the Leroy line I was hoping for.
But I think it works out, though, because he's grumpy. So, like, the fact of, like, this, it's caused everyone to be, like, hyper angry, hyper aware of things. And he's already there.
He's already there.
It makes more sense that if we're going to be flipping things, it's Happy who's going to be doing the attacking.
Which was so fun. That was really funny, though. And I ain't happy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But, of course, we open on Hetty.
I told you she was in this episode.
I forgot because squirrel brain. And so I started and I go, Hetty?
Context. If you haven't listened to an episode from like weeks ago, the woman who plays, Madame Faustina, I think is the character's name. She's the psychic that Ingrid happens upon when she first lands in the land without magic. And she's what you expect out of a psychic in a metaphysical shop that's insane. She's played by Rebecca Wazaki, who plays Hetty on Ghosts. There's your context.
But we're just queens being queens. These two in a scene together, like, just had me so fucking happy. Like, because these two together was just amazing to have.
And, like, the more I learn about the way that Rebecca does characters and stuff and how she talks about Hetty and the musicality that she brings these things, the way that she does the line, and her name will be Susan. Like, the way that she does the movement in her voice. And I'm like, but I said, Madame Faustina, the original Lilia Calderoo.
Mm-hmm. I even wrote, it was like, Hetty with a baseball bat and a Boston accent. My life is complete.
Last one in fruitcake.
Like, her with the accent killed me.
She's so good. But again, this is why when I found out that Ghosts films in Montreal, I assumed she was a Canada native because she was a day player for like a 1 minute scene in an episode of Once Upon a Time. But no, she's from the United States. She just happens to go to Canada when they need her to.
She's just amazing in every way.
Yes, she is. We love Rebecca Wazaki.
Most of my notes is lines.
Which is understandable.
Understandable with this episode. Because I really loved Anna. It's going to be all right. Remember, I'm the savior. Is that like a real job here? I was like, I'm with Anna on this one.
Yeah.
We are subtitle people.
Yes, we are.
I cannot watch TV. I can't hear the TV without subtitles.
Here's my question. Which app did you use?
Disney.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think I know what you're talking about. Because there is a line that because I watched this on Hulu.
Oh,
Hulu. The subtitles was Snow says something indescribable, I think I know what it is because Disney has the line, which is, well, he's a doctor. He actually knows which part is which.
And after that, I wrote, thank the gods for subtitles, because if you don't have the subtitles on, you're not seeing her saying it. It's in the background.
Nope.
That should have been a whole scene.
No, I know, because that's from the very beginning of like I can't believe I had a child with you. Who knows? Maybe didn't. Could be whales. But it's I noticed that because I watched on Hulu and it's like says like in like just like indiscernible audio, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure there's subtitles.
That's really funny that Disney Plus is the one that has it and
Yeah.
Hulu isn't. I mean, they're owned by the same people, but still, it is kind of funny because I feel like it should be the other way around.
You'd think.
And then I got really excited for the Evil Queen because I'm like, Evil Queen, yes, bitch, yes, I'm here for this. What the fuck is carrot sherbet? Who went, ooh, carrot, that'd be a great sherbet.
I'm pretty sure I pointed that out in like the first or second episode. No, I pointed that in the second episode of this season because of your
squirrel brain.
Your disgust with her. I'll link it in the show notes. But you're disgust when she licks the ice cream with her finger.
Ooh.
And I said, just watch what she does with the carrot sherbet. I remember saying that.
It's wrong.
It hides the rock troll magic.
Because no one orders it.
No shit.
I killed the Evil Queen's mommy, and I said I was sorry, and I didn't mean it. I was like, okay, Snow.
That whole altercation, so Lauren is going to not recite entire scenes from this episode because, quite frankly, I've timed it once. It's about a third of the episode. But that is one sequence, and this was the thing I was going to tell you about, so let's test this out. This is just proof that I can do this. Oh, it has to be a tab for me to share audio. Okay, never mind then.
Oh.
So I'm going to rescind my thing of Lauren's not going to do an entire scene because this is a scene that I can do. Like quite
but
literally.
Lauren has it. Sounds like Lauren has the scene,
recorded with
already
with background noise. But it's because this is this entire scene. It's got so many lines in this one scene. That's ridiculous. At least I know how to swaddle our child correctly. I swaddle him perfectly. He's a baby, not a breakfast burrito. Stop it. I mean, I have to say, I expected more from the two of you. Use your heads. Think back to what it was like before the spell changed you. Sure, you had issues with each other, but they were minor. When I first met her, she hit me in the face. If that wasn't a sign, I don't know what is. Yes, you responded by hanging me a net from a tree. You're a real Prince Charming. Yes, he is Prince Charming, and you're Snow White, and those things sound terrible, but they also sound romantic. Can't you see that? Because if you can see that, then maybe you can defeat this dark spell. Someone's let me poison apple and put me out of misery. Ugh, me. Pick me. Oh, shut it, Iceman. Iceman. Who you calling Iceman? Stable boy. I'm calling you Iceman. You're from Arendelle. What are you doing selling ice? The whole place is frozen. Ice is a very important commodity. You know what, Swiss Miss? You do know me. I pick flowers. I talk to birds. I do all kinds of warm, fuzzy things. You know what else? I kill. Yeah, that's right. Snow White's a murderer. I killed the evil queen's mommy. And I said I was sorry. And I didn't mean it. That's horrible. Still want to hold hands, sing zippity-doo-dah?
I love that part. That's the next line I had written down was the zippity-doo-dah. I'm like,
it's just because this is the thing. You can see the actors are having so much fun.
They're all like, we all get to be Regina. Okay. Basically, they're like, we all get to be evil. And Regina, as always, chef's kiss. You could tell just how happy she was to get to do this again.
Because she hasn't been the evil queen all season, and the first time she gets to do it, this is the evil queen when Regina's not home.
It's so fucking good. I did, of course, gotta have a Killian line with all this. There's no way I'm going anywhere with a dirty pirate. Dirty? I pay quite frequently. Thank you very much. Like, he's very much like, excuse you.
I love the running gag that is Killian being offended by a 12-year-old.
It's constant.
Yeah. It doesn't stop either.
I will say, like, Ingrid doing everything that she did, I was like, all the happy memories in the world wouldn't convince me to leave a whole town under a killing spell.
Yeah.
Like, no thank you. I was really excited to see the scene of when Emma finds Ingrid in Storybrooke. It went exactly how I expected her, being like, what the hell are you doing here? Like,
yep.
100%. But then Emma didn't pay for her ice cream, so I got confused.
Well, because Ingrid said on the house.
Yeah. I was like, wait, you didn't pay for your ice cream. And then, of course, we got the sword fight. I feel like we have always needed and deserved. Seeing the two of them do that was great.
This was Lana's first time with a sword at least in this. And I would like to direct you to our script real fast.
Oh, goodness.
Because there is a drop down that says behind the scenes photo that proves the editors are cowards. Just open that real fast.
Sorry, I got to full screen this.
Yeah. It is, for context, I'll make sure it's in the thing that Katie can put into social media. It is a photo of a take of, I'm assuming Lana's line, or Regina's line of "I want to watch you bleed," where she lowers the sword. However, in this version, this was also part of like promotional images, if I remember correctly. Like this used to be attached to like an article. It's of Lana licking the sword.
I am a fantasy reader. Do you realize what you're doing to me? I'm a fantasy reader, Lauren.
Also, I noticed this time. I love that this is the outfit for the
Say
evil queen.
sorry.
I love this is the outfit that they pick for the evil queen for this, because I don't think we've seen this specific outfit before, but we will see it again.
It is saved to my computer.
I had a feeling.
It's a wonderful picture.
But yeah, this is among the plethora of things when Lauren says, "I save things the second I see them just to be on the safe side."
I appreciate this photo very much.
I thought you might.
Because I'm a fantasy reader. I like swords. I think they're great.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really love Lana.
Yeah,
So,
it's a good combo.
oh, this is wonderful. I even wrote to the "Do not wake my baby." I was like, I felt that in my soul.
Mm-hmm.
You do not ever wake the baby
No.
from their nap.
But that's what I said before. It appears that Snow doesn't really have, there's no
Mhm.
reaction to Neil, which means Regina probably wouldn't have one to Henry.
Which is very good. Then we have the wonderful line, "You said you could keep a secret." I was 10!
You said no magic. You said you could keep a secret. I was 10. That is one of my favorite lines of the entire show.
It's so good. I really also loved, "I don't think that's how portals work." I wrote, "I don't think the writers even know how portals work."
No, they don't.
And then I'm just like, at this point, you know where we're at in the show,
Mhm.
and I'm just reeling because I'm just like, they really defeated Ingrid with love, and then I go, "Excuse the fuck at me, out of me, they're gonna just kill Ingrid?" And I got really upset. And then wrote, just crying on a Saturday morning over my coffee
Mhm.
as yeah,
She's sacrificing herself.
she sacrificed herself.
Yeah.
Um, and then I just end off with Happy going, "Sorry, I tried to kill you," and Leroy with a crossbow. Like,
Yeah.
so, I laughed, I cried.
This it's an emotional roller coaster of an episode. I will
It
absolutely say
really is.
this. Um, there's so much attention to detail that's done in this episode that I really love that I'll go into when I go through my notes. But for some vague, like not commentary, for some vague fun facts. Um, so from the 401 commentary, because there's a couple things that I pulled from there that I've just kind of been like dropping into the notes for their individual episodes because they talked about the entire season. The Since they had established for the flashback that the blue jacket, the blue leather jacket, they intentionally didn't have Emma wearing that at all throughout the rest of the season because they didn't want to confuse anybody. I guess like it's been
Mhm.
established as that's a season 1 era outfit within the
Okay.
context of the season, so they didn't have that again. Uh, there is a video from a recent convention, like it was a few months ago. That it was a bunch of people, and this was the one where I saw the thing. She had said somebody has a photo of Elizabeth Mitchell, that she has this photo on Instagram, but I couldn't find it. Um, because the question was, what's the hardest scene that you had to film? And hers was that final scene with Emma, Elsa, and Anna, because it's from a very technical perspective, a lot happens in that scene. So you have to kind
Mhm.
of both. She has to do the very high emotions of the scene, but also technically like acting opposite the CGI magic is also going to be a thing that she had to work on. Because there's a lot of cameras that were doing that, and she had a lot of words to say, very emotional. So she wanted to make sure she was doing it justice because of the emotional stakes of the scene. That was the hardest of the ones that she had. And she said someone has has a picture on their social media of her on the floor with like the script laid out in front of her and her Uggs and everything, but I could not find it.
You'll find it in like a year,
Right?
and we'll be like, "Look what we found!"
Yeah. The ring that Emma pulls off the dog from the claw machine is the same ring that we saw her pull out of the box when her and Killian are going through her things in 405.
I like the continuity.
And there's a deleted scene that it makes sense why they took it out. Because all it is a flashback, more or less, probably the next day after when we see Ingrid get into Storybrooke.
Mhm.
Based off the fact that you can see like her backpack and stuff in the scene, I'm going to go with it's like the next day. It's Regina walking into the ice cream store and seeing Ingrid and trying to suss out, is this person cursed or not? It's got some funny lines, but like it's clear it's not needed.
I still say they could let the sword licking in. I'll stand by that from forever now, that it should be in the episode.
Well, okay, there's no other instances where we almost see sword licking, but It's a great phrase. But this is not the last we see of Regina/Lana with a sword, so
Okay, I'm happy with that. I
Lana gets
also
more she gets more
need to
sword
tell my
action.
husband we have a new word for something, a new phrase for something. Just saying.
Not like that.
No, not like that, but I'm gonna use it in a very bad way.
I'm sure you are. Also, it's worth noting, when after after Ingrid kills herself, um, it's great phrasing. There's no other way to phrase it. That's what she does.
Oh my god.
But when they show and when she says, like, I all I wanted was my sister's love, and now I get to join them, and we see a shot of the 3 girls running
Mhm.
over the hill. That is a different version than what we saw at the beginning of the Snow Queen. Because the Snow Queen, what we see at first is Helga and Gerda running, and then Ingrid follows them. This time, it's all 3 of them in one line.
Aw.
I like that.
I mean, it's sad they're all dead, but
But
aw.
yeah.
Like, they're all dead.
Mhm. They all 3 of them are gone. They cease to exist. But
Which, ironically, when we watched the episode where we met child Ingrid,
yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, she's in The Walking Dead." Steven just made it to the episode where she does something crazy, and he's just kinda
Ooh.
looking at me like, "What the fuck just happened?" So, yeah. Seeing her in this where she's
Mhm.
cutesy and has, learning about magic, and then watching her seen in The Walking Dead are 2 very different things.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Again, a lot of my notes are lines as well, and then other things that I decided to pull in also because we see Regina in her vault, with the when she looks in the mirror and goes, "What the hell am I wearing?" and then changes herself into the evil queen. That's that mirror that we first saw from 212
Mhm.
that we know on the other side is the very pretty white room that we will never see again,
It's just so weird.
which is unfortunate.
And that's the one I called the Charming Charlie room.
Yeah. Good on you for healthy boundaries on it, because her thing of like, I'm gonna go see my sister, and you just stay here where you can't hurt anyone but me with your words. Like Elizabeth Lale is so good. The whole cast is phenomenal,
It's so good.
but they're so good. And like something we didn't talk about before, but Killian being immune because he's heartless,
Yeah.
I kind of hate it.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think I was just kind of took it in stride with everything
Hmm.
else.
Yeah,
Like, because the show very much will just throw out random explanations to why something happens with like no reason.
yeah.
Because then it makes me curious, why is it so effective then on Charming and Snow and they share a heart?
That's true.
Wouldn't it be as half as effective?
I guess it could be justification for why they don't have the hatred towards their son, but each other. I mean, that's the only
Mm,
thing I can think of, but
maybe.
to me, though, this was like it kind of I mean, I guess that no one would have a way of knowing, but that just proves that there was a reason to stop it. You just kinda set up like a conveyor belt line of people, one side goes to Rumple, one side goes to Regina, you take out people's hearts, give them
So
back to
does
'em.
Leroy not have a heart?
Well, no, he was too busy running away, I guess.
Yeah. He didn't fight back. He's like,
No. Well, because like, the dopey didn't fight back either, he just sat there silently while Doc yelled at him to speak.
oh, it's so sad. These poor
Granny, though, with
dwarves.
I would be terrified of Granny with a crossbow.
I
Like,
think I wrote something about that. I was
in
like,
general, but, like, still.
yeah, I was like, not Granny with her crossbow. Like,
Yeah. From a writer perspective, I get Killian not, not being affected. It works because I think with having him also having an effect, it does make it would make the episode a little overstuffed.
mm-hmm.
And like, because also it's a factor of the funny thing would be to see him going after Rumple, but that's not how the curse works.
But then also Rumple has control over him because of the heart.
Yeah. So
So
it wouldn't do anything, and like so that would mean that the people he'd be going after is Emma, and that's not as entertaining. Without Emma also going after him, kind of like we have with Snow and Charming, it's not as interesting to
and they
watch.
got other shit to deal with.
Yeah, so like I understand why they did it, but I'm like it seems like a pretty simple solution to making people immune to the curse, though.
Yeah.
So that's like the only reason why I'm like a little if about it, but from a story structure perspective, having that in there would have been kind of like how Will he shows up trying to punch Killian, gets knocked out immediately, and is like the more and more we see him, the more I'm like, why did they bring him in?
Like almost every time we've seen him on screen, I'm just like, this is completely unneeded.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's not wrong. Like when he said in an interview that he felt redundant because he kind of is. So I did
It's
notice
just so
though.
sad.
Yeah. I did notice though at one point, when Ingrid is leaving the ice cream shop with the rocks and Emma and Elsa try to attack her at first, she's wearing high heels, which leads me to believe that it's a soundstage.
Oh.
Because it's the only time we see her wearing high heels. Because also
Yeah.
Emma and Elsa looked a little like too perfect, like they weren't actually on the streets of Storybrooke. Because they do have a soundstage that is the street. Because
Yeah.
the flashback of Emma going into the ice cream shop is one of the few times that you could really tell that's a backdrop
Mhm.
outside that door when she goes in. I'm like, that looks not entirely correct.
That's something's off about that.
It looks like a backdrop. So I'm wondering if maybe that was like maybe they had like filmed it on a soundstage and maybe put them. I don't know. But like it looked a little. I was like, this is the only time we've ever seen her not barefoot or like in riding boots.
Mhm.
It's just these randomly sparkly high heels for 30 seconds. But this is the flashback though. Is I mean specifically the one when Emma tries to run away because like Ingrid like she's reaching out to Emma. She's like she's uh in the brief time we were together, you showed 7 of the signs that, like, that a new foster child displays when they're going to run away on his or her first night. And like she's good with the reverse psychology. She's like, no, go. I won't stop you. I know how difficult it must be to live under the same roof as someone like Kevin, who's deathly afraid of spiders. Any spiders, really. Small spiders, big spiders, even the rubber ones I keep in my desk, in the drawer, on the right, behind the box of staples. Poor Kevin.
She
Like,
does not give a fuck about Kevin.
no, she does not because she's here for Emma, so it makes sense. But also,
Which
this
is
is
so crazy because she's a foster parent.
yes, it's like she should care. Like we never, to be fair, we never know what happens to the other kids. For all we know, she sent everyone else away as soon as Emma was
Like
there.
we know how the foster system is in our lovely country.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that the foster system is just like, yeah, we'll send the kids somewhere else. Like
Yeah,
I could see it now, them just calling someone like, can someone help us? Like our foster mom just dipped.
yeah. She's like, I'm gonna take care of one person and that's it.
Yep. That's how, one-sided she really was.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I made the synopsis that just the past and today versus giving us a timeline of any kind, because despite the fact that I'm pretty sure the time code they gave us for the 405 flashbacks was 1997.
Mm-hmm.
The time code they gave this one was 1999. That cannot be the case because
So
Emma would already be 17 by then.
yeah.
And we know and we'll
Pregnant.
know.
Sorry.
And
Still
pregnant.
weirded out by that.
But no, but Emma can't be 7. I mean, okay, maybe it's early, whatever. So it's let's be conservative, say it's like February of 1999. She's still 16 by then. But there's one more flashback between this and when she meets Neil. It's like
It'd have to be really early.
it would it would have to be like really, really early 1999. So like if they had made this like late 1998, I would be less weirded by it. But it's the fact of like they tried to put 2 years between this and Lily. That doesn't make any sense.
It's a lot.
Because she already said she was 14, maybe 15, which would lead me to believe it's closer to when she's 15.
The timeline never makes sense in all honesty, but
And I try to make sense of it, and that's my own damn fault.
I'm just here to play along.
Yeah.
I'm doing my job.
There's a reason why when I did my timeline videos, I didn't try to suss out the other timelines that weren't between the advent of magic and the Dark Curse being cast.
Okay.
I did that time frame and that alone because while it is a little wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff,
Yeah.
it's not as bad as what they tried to give us for the during Curse and after Curse eras.
There's a
After
lot of
Curse, not so much,
numbers
but
and a lot of years and a lot of things, and it's a lot.
yeah, like the time frame between like the Dark Curse and where I started the timeline is still about 1,000 years, and even then, there are still some things that are kind of out of time and place.
I love that. About 1,000 years.
But to be fair,
Just
like,
about.
between 1,000 and 500, nothing happens though. But there's like a couple of places that are like out of time.
We'll say historically. Usually something happens in the span of 500 years. But
Generally speaking, not in Once Upon a Time Land, not on the Enchanted Forest.
they just had a really good, few years.
Basically, we see an event where someone gets magic, and then the next time we see them, it's 500 years later.
Look, I feel like there's got to be at least a plague in there somewhere, maybe some blight.
Maybe.
Just a sprinkle.
But no, this is a soap opera, so the only drama we can have is interpersonal.
Oh my god. But there's a whole ogre war.
Yeah, there's that.
So like you can in this world building have something.
You can, but then I guess even still though, the ogre war mostly served to further the interpersonal drama because the ogre war you've got Rumpel hobbling himself So
I read too much fantasy for
that's
this.
more interpersonal because he's doing that for his family. And then you have his wife that hates him. And then later on, you have the Ogre Wars happening, and Belle basically barters her freedom.
Are you really excited that one day, once I finish the show, we'll be able to talk about the world building? Because there's still so much I don't know about the world building. They only give you so much. It's not like a
Mm-hmm.
book where you have to like somehow truck through the first 100 pages
Well, yeah, they have
to get your world building. Here, it's constant, and I'm
Yeah,
always learning new things. And I'm just like, can someone explain to me?
well, yes, it's a TV show. They can't give you
They
all
can't.
the world building because, I mean, that boxes them in, and they can't really like
You can't do
do
that.
things more creatively. But yeah, with the long running series, they have to kind of piecemeal out their world building, so you're just continually interested in continually learning things.
Yeah, interested's a word.
Yeah, interested's a word. We're gonna learn something real fascinating about the clock tower,
Oh,
and
more on the fictional CGI clock tower. Okay.
we're gonna learn more about that in 414. Is that the number right?
I don't know.
Four
My numbers aren't right.
Enter the Dragon. No, not Enter the Dragon. No, no. I was thinking Enter the Dragon. That's not the episode I'm thinking. I
Okay,
got the.
but just based
I
off the
got the
name, I want to watch that.
I know. I got the name right. In Unforgiven, you'll learn a little bit of lore,
Okay.
or at least about how the cavern under the clock tower works.
Look, just give me Enter the Dragon. That and Poor Unfortunate Soul. Like I was like, when I went in to do my notes the other day to watch, and I was like, let me look at the other titles. I got really, really excited.
Well, in the next episode, you are going to meet Cruella and Ursula.
Oh,
They are going to come into play in the next episode.
yay. But obviously, Enter the Dragon, I need more than any of the other ones.
Yeah, and then I mean, Mal's going to come back in the next episode, which I can tell the story now. It's fine. When because it plays into my crying throughout this entire episode, basically.
Okay.
In an interview, I'll see if I can find exactly which one it was. I don't remember which one it was anymore. Actually, it might have been the one that's not on YouTube anymore. But Kristen Bauer was saying when the three of them kind of went up together because they were all there for the same amount of time. The transpo guy was saying that he had just dropped off the Frozen actors, and like everyone was like really sad and everyone's crying, and she's like, I'm not gonna cry. This is like I just came off of 7 years of True Blood. Like I think I'm cried out. It's just like cut to like 4 months later, like we're all like hugging in the airport.
Which tells me that everybody really just loved working on this project, which is nice.
Yeah, and like they called it like camp because especially for like the specific like the arc specific actors, they go up there away from their families for about 4 months at a time, give or take if it's for an arc or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you're up there with other people that are also isolated, and you're in Canada, which is just a fun place to be if you're from America, generally speaking. And
because the healthcare.
the healthcare and just it's the fun, the brightly colored money and all that. They talk about that a lot, and like you have especially when you get on with like the lead actors, like the three of them got on really well with Lana, which is as they should because that's
Lana
who they act with mostly. You're up there hanging out with people for a month, and then at the end of it, you go back to your life. But like you maintain the relationships if you can, and the three of them seem to have. They always have a lot of fun talking to each other at conventions, but yeah, because I'll talk more about Kristen Bauer going back into Once next week when it's more pertinent.
That's fair.
Because the timing of it is very fortuitous for her. And I have fun. I just know way too much about the three of them and casting and how they got on the show because this is the arc that I watch a lot of interviews of.
I wonder why.
It's three women at the time over 40, now all over 50.
I mean, I still don't see a problem here.
No problem exists. It's fine.
No.
The same reason we've spent this entire arc gushing over Elizabeth Mitchell.
I mean, have you seen her?
She's beautiful and delightful and an amazing actor.
She's so talented.
And this was I marked especially because I think I said there's a specific look that I say what I wouldn't give to have Elizabeth Mitchell look at me like that specifically, but like in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's the look that she gives Emma right before when she says, "I'm glad I got to know you." I took a picture of it just so I could show you.
Aww.
Because I started crying. I'm like, I watched this. Like I watched.
How many times have you actually seen this?
This episode, I couldn't tell you. Like genuinely couldn't tell you. But it's that look.
Oh,
it's such a sweet one, and like
it is.
But this is the therapy for the for the episode, like, because this is the look of this is the most important person in the world to ever have existed, and that's a very intoxicating feeling.
It's probably how I look at my children when they're sleeping.
Probably. Like, that's the
Yeah.
look that she's giving her. And then
Because
I went
children are always better when they're sleeping.
I went, "Her watery smile kills me," and I'm like, "Why am I crying? I've seen this a million times. I watched this yesterday." There are some things, it doesn't matter how many times I watch them, they set me off. There's one specifically in season 5 that I will be crying. Doesn't matter how many times I see it.
There's actually a Bob's Burgers episode that always makes me cry.
Yeah.
So you have fun with that when it
Yeah,
happens.
that'll be fun.
Oh, the Bob's Burgers movie makes me cry.
Ooh. Colin's poor stunt double with the marble gag, though. I do love that that was
Yeah.
Henry's. That's the extent of his mischief.
He Home Aloned him.
He Home Aloned him.
Like, that was my thought when it happened. I was like, all right, Henry, you Home Aloned.
That's what he did.
Now, having Smee with him would have made that so much better.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm
But
just saying.
Smee was probably busy fighting other pirates, I would assume. Maybe his boyfriend. Who knows? There's no confirmation of this. I'm just talking out my ass.
Isn't that all we do?
Basically. But I'm surprised we didn't say neither of us said any of the lines from Regina in the vault. So we just
Yeah, because they're all good.
They're all so good. Well, a little late for Halloween. How do you walk in that thing with the poise and composure of a queen?
Them laughing at the end of everything, though, when the curse is broken, and they look around at each other and just start laughing.
It feels like a blooper they left in.
It really did. I was like, no, this is pure joy, laughter, laughing at themselves. I feel like they did a scene and everybody just started laughing. They're like, we're just gonna catch this and use it because it's too good.
I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think we ever see Regina laugh before
She
or
was
after this.
cackling.
Yeah. Like, that was Lana.
It was amazing. Pure joy.
Yeah.
And I love that the whole time they're laughing, they just leave Charming locked up.
Regina's still, because it's the laughter is set off by the, what am I wearing?
Yeah. They're like, he can stay in there. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. No, I was just reading up on how to turn you into a garden topiary. I don't know why that line is so funny.
I love it.
It's so good. And this is my favorite part of her in this episode specifically. Well, 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 if it isn't my lucky day. I had come here to kill Emma. Now I get to kill the 2 idiots who started it all. Hey, I wasn't the one that told Cora about your secret boyfriend. Are you selling me out? Shut up. I don't know who you are. Why don't you go back to where you came from? And just she has no time for them whatsoever. But that's also a case of, magic. It works how you think. She said go back where you came from, but she doesn't know where that is, so she just sent them back to where they came from, being the trunk.
Which is crazy.
It works though, and then it turned out that's how they got the bottle with the letter in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Lana, it's you can tell Lana has fun when she hasn't played the evil queen, because I'm sure playing the evil queen a lot can be very draining on an actor.
Yeah.
Because like I know I was watching an interview that Audra McDonald was saying about how she kind of unwinds after playing Mama Rose, and the best way that she describes from the show from Gypsy, and the best way she described the character of Mama Rose, she's like, how you see like characters are swept up in like these big things, these big storms, these big whatever. Like think of like the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy gets swept up in the tornado. Mama Rose is the tornado.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's creating all of this drama, so she's a very big character to come down from every night. 8 shows a week. And so like I can only imagine what it's like to do that with Regina, because I think a lot of us, like at one point I said, like, yeah, it's a lot of long car rides home. It's a lot of trying to work through whatever the emotions are when it's like the fully fleshed character.
Because my brain is in a whole other place right now. I'm really like, it's got to be really hard to play the evil queen. I'm just like, not if you're Gal Gadot. There was no effort whatsoever.
She did not try.
She didn't even try.
I made a TikTok.
Sorry.
Like, her line deliveries make me feel so much better about everything I ever say.
Honestly.
But yeah. we already went on a rant about the whole like Lana not being the evil queen last time. We won't be too repetitive. At least we'll try not to be.
That's why I'm gonna be quiet.
But yeah, this is definitely a more heightened version. That's probably more fun, less chaos, because this is the evil queen with none of the emotional depth that Regina has. Like, this is not the last time we'll see an evil queen like this, is the most I'm willing to tease of anything. But it's a lot of fun to watch Lana play this version of the evil queen, because she's,
especially after we see the other side of her.
Yes, because we've seen nothing but Regina all season, because she hasn't been in any of the flashbacks. She hasn't. There's no reason for the evil queen to be there. We'll see a lot more of Regina and the evil queen. We'll see more of Regina I'm actually trying to think. I think, do we see the Evil Queen in 4B? I'm thinking of the flashbacks she's talked about. I actually don't think we see Queen Regina. We don't necessarily see the Evil Queen in
Kind of like
4B.
how when they got sent back to, at the beginning of 4,
Yeah.
she was evil queen, but like she was Regina. She's just
Yeah. Like
queen again.
the
Set up.
flashback I'm thinking of is Regina as the queen before Leopold's dead. That's the
Okay.
point of the timeline that is. That's why I'm like, it's Queen Regina. It's the thing is, it'll be a good juxtaposition because it's that young queen voice, but with evil queen actions.
Ooh.
So it's a really cool juxtaposition. But that's just a great episode. That is in fact Enter the Dragon.
I can't wait for this episode more now.
It's a great episode, and I'm really looking forward to your thoughts on it. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun to see the evil queen come out because you can
Mm-hmm.
just tell Lana just has a lot of fun with it. But I did say I see why they took out the flashback of Ingrid taking over the ice cream shop. Like it's the one flashback of her entering Storybrooke and later with Emma is plenty to get the point across.
Yeah.
You don't need her taking over the ice cream shop and Regina being like suspicious of her for a few seconds. Much as I would have liked to see more Lana on my screen.
It's just so creepy knowing she's always been there.
Yeah.
Like,
It's also that's one continuity thing of like that shop hasn't always been the ice cream shop.
mm-hmm.
Like there's if you go back, like you can see it's been other things. But actually we're in season 6, we're gonna see what else that's been turned into.
Oh
Uh
goodness.
it's really funny. But Ingrid's line though, when she was so sad that they burned off their ribbons.
Yeah.
She's like, Ribbons, what did you do? And when Emma says, like, no, we're not gonna love you, she's like Ingrid's line is like, I know you actually believe that, and it makes me sad. Like that's such a mom thing to say. Felt
Yeah, it
like
is. I can admit that. That is a
I'm like,
very mom thing to say.
it makes me sad because like consider that her whole thing is like that you will love me. Like I agree with you. There's no amount of like remembering good memories that's gonna make me okay with killing everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But her whole thing of memory magic is it's pretty sound because we forget the bad and romanticize the good. In my mind, I'm like that's why people give birth multiple times.
Exactly. No, like it's a scientific thing. We forget how bad birth was. I didn't because I had an extremely traumatic one for the
Mm,
first one. But most people that give natural birth, like there's just something about baby fever. I don't know
yeah.
how to explain it. I've had it. Um, I don't get it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No, now I'm at the point my sister's having babies, so I'm like I can hold the baby and I can hand it back. I'm
Exactly.
good, done. But yeah, no, we do. We have enough. It's scientific. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like I said, it's sound. We were going off of that scientific logic. And like if all that's left are good and happy memories, she'll get what she wants. And like to be fair, when she gives them back, like you deserve your
Mhm.
memories. Like that part. I mean, I was crying that entire time.
No, yeah, I was
But
crying the whole time.
the whole
Like
time.
cup of coffee, just tears.
But that was a case of like not that she's not as good. We don't see as many places for Jen to do that kind of very subtle acting that like Lana does all the time.
Mhm.
But you can see the moment she remembers. It's like her eyes change. Like she does something to her face. I'm like, this is good subtle acting. Approved. Like, Ingrid gets her happy ending and then dies. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Like I really didn't think they'd kill her, but here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. This is so we were established that you know that Bex is coming back anyway. So
Yeah.
she's dead, not dead. This was a case of like after this happened, I'm like, wow, Once is not great at redeeming their villains without killing them.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like
Peter Pan could stay gone, but yeah.
well, yeah, because figure the only ones that have stayed around so far are Regina and Rumple, but we had
Mhm.
Cora literally got her heart back and
Yep.
then died. Pan died. Zelina, at the time when airing, assumed dead,
Mhm.
and now Ingrid as well. And like it's that whole I can see why that whole sequence was extremely hard for her because this whole arc really relies on how that scene is performed. Because I've said this entire time, she's a reactionary villain. She wouldn't see herself as a villain if everyone else didn't react the way that they did.
Mhm.
And so much of this is predicated on how she does this last scene. It has to be perfect. And, she goes from being very cool and collected at the very beginning when they show up with the, I see that you believe that and it makes me sad. She's very sure that she's won all the way through to like the unbridled rage that she has when Anna starts to read the letter and she does the magical bitch slap.
Mhm.
And then folding that into the upset and like the upset at those that she cursed in the middle to finally acceptance at what needs to be done. She just does such an arc of emotions in like 2 minutes.
It's really hard to do.
It's so hard to do, and it's so beautiful to watch. If it didn't make me cry, like, to be fair, nothing makes me cry as hard as the end of Going Home. That still destroys me to the point where I don't watch it, but like, this is one, like, if it didn't make me cry, I would probably watch this scene more.
Yeah, because I don't know if you'll ever get me to watch Going Home again. That was
No,
rough. That destroyed me.
because that one, because like I think I did my analysis of it. It reads like a series finale,
It does.
and it's because that's what it almost was. Basically, they assumed, like, they wrote it that way because it might have been. This at
It's better than
least,
some shows.
this at least is the ending of an arc that they know they're going to get to continue. Because, to be fair, like, the next episode is getting Elsa, Anna, and Kristoff back to Arendelle so they can restore the memories of their aunts. But it is, so it's that wrapping up the repercussions of Shattered Sight and mildly setting up the Queens of Darkness. Basically, it's setting up. They're going to have 6 weeks, because this is one time where like the timing was correct, but they're still a year behind us anyway. The timing between the next episode and the episode after it is 6 weeks. This is one of the very few times we get an actual time jump.
That's nice.
So
we need that time jump because Henry keeps growing.
Exactly. He's kind of getting taller than Lana.
Like, the boy's getting big and they're just not pushing time enough. I'm like, guys, he's like, y'all gotta move a little bit faster when you work with child actors. You really can't take too much time to do anything.
No, you can't, because, and this is why, like I say all the time, people criticize his acting. It's because they see him as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and they expect him to act that way when the character is 13.
And it just doesn't work. And 13-year-olds don't tend to be that tall.
They don't tend to be that tall, but like, adults forget how different 13 to 17 really is.
Oh, it's a huge difference.
It's like 13, you're still a kid. Like 17, you're getting, you're still a kid then, but like, you're getting closer to adulthood. Like, there's a big difference.
No matter how much kids try to make themselves seem older, you can still see a very distinct difference. Because that is a thing now. Like, when I see teenagers and all the things they do now, I was like, I was not doing that at 13. They're not getting their like ugly duckling stage anymore. And I feel like it's a very important time. Preteen is a very important time.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We're removing spaces for preteens to exist, and like media for them, especially because a lot of YA and books and stuff, they're skewing older. The TV shows are skewing older. Like, they're forced to kind of jump from like kids shows to adult shows.
That's why they like graphic novels so much. Yeah. That's why my daughter's watching shows that we watched when we were her age. Like, they're going back to that's why she's watched all of Avatar, the Last Airbender multiple times. Yeah. Like, because there's not enough media for them.
Exactly.
So,
and like, it's like I said, kids, they deserve their ugly duckling stage.
They do, and I say that with full love. Everyone deserves their ugly duckling stage because that's how you grow.
Exactly. You learn things. You learn things about yourself. You learn things about the people around you. People grow. People change. You never really know when anything's going to happen.
It's about when I feel like you really start to realize how other human beings truly are and what it is to be human.
No, I would agree. So, Katie, what did you rate Shattered Sight?
What do you think?
Was this a 30? Please tell me it's a 30.
This is a 30, man. Okay. This is so good.
This 30s across the board. So
there's too many funny lines for it to not be a 30.
It's just such an enjoyable episode to watch because it's because this is the episode. This almost got a perfect score on my old scale. I took off 2 points, one for the time that Ingrid is first joining the Land Without Magic because I took off points for it the first time, and again for the Harry Potter reference.
That's fair.
Because I took it off again the first time. So I felt like I had to take off something. So I got a 24.8 out of 25. But with our scale, I don't gotta do that. So I can give it a perfect score because it deserves one, because it's both plot heavy and character heavy and just fun to watch. Yes, it's emotional. Yes, we cry, but like,
it's so good.
It's so good. I was like, Snow and Charming's We Were Cursed is really their version of We Were on a Break.
And I have to say that, like, because you made the Harry Potter moment, is like in 2014, I think that was pre-J.K. Rowling's Lost Her Mind.
Yes.
So, like, that's the only time I allow any hot Harry Potter references in something, is if it was from the time period of the before times. If it's in the before times, there's a pass.
Yes.
If it's not in the before times, please stop putting those references.
Yeah, like, stuff that's being written now, there's really no excuse.
oh, I've seen people that are like DNFing because this, and they'll be like, it just keeps going. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you guys. There's still Potterheads out there.
Yeah, and like I give people the benefit of the doubt. Some people really are that far under a rock.
Yeah.
But there are people that are like, yeah, I know, I just don't care. I'm like, I'm just rereading, my books that I'm not giving her any money. I'm like, okay, great, you're not giving her any money, but you're still talking about it online.
If I were to ever reread the copies that are like locked in my closet that I did actually hide behind stuff so I don't see them, I'm purely doing it to be able to see it through the eyes of an adult and not a child, because I've seen a lot of people talk about like the problematic things in the book anyways. And I'm like, I was a child when I read this, but I'm really curious now. I will never openly talk about that I'm doing that online.
No.
I'm going to do this in private. It's not even going on my reading log for the year type. Like, I'm just curious. But that's the level that you have to do to not cause harm. Is
Exactly.
like, if you're doing it, it needs to be in the privacy of your home. Don't promote it. And we say that because, that's just how we feel.
We're saying that because we're recording this on the Trans Day of Visibility.
Yeah, that too.
Like, it's really well-timed
we are recording that.
conversation.
It actually really, really is. Because she has fully posted and said before that she sees when people still play her games, go to Universal, go to read her books, promote anything Harry Potter, she sees that as them agreeing with her ideals, and the money that she actively funds into anti-trans laws and things over in Great Britain. Like, she actively is like, yeah, she is literally has the show being made because she is so pissed off at Emma and Daniel and Rupert because they're such big activists. Like, she literally has admitted, she's like, I'm getting the show made so that I can like continue to do this. So yeah, at the end of the day, if you promote her work,
there's no
you
excuse.
are funding it. Point blank.
Exactly.
And we're not like that here.
No, we're not. Let's end this on a happy note.
Happy Trans Visibility Day, even though you won't hear this until June.
Yes, it's also that. You won't be hearing this until June at this point. But let's say one final farewell to Elizabeth Mitchell.
No, I don't want to.
I know we don't want to. And like,
you're like, let's talk about something happy.
She's gone.
She's dead.
But let's just say, she has been like, this is probably the first arc where we spent so much time talking about an actor's choices.
Yeah.
Because she just makes so many of them. Like, it's been a lot of fun, at least these last 10 weeks. Last 10 weeks to get to really pick apart.
Yeah, because we went into this like right after my lovely 3-week break.
Yeah. So like, it's been a joy to watch her perform, like, because like that's another thing of like this podcast. It really, like I say this before, it's made me watch this show through a whole new lens. Not just, it's now through the lens of like, I'm watching to see the things that I think you're going to think are funny, and like the things that I think you're going to point out. So I kind of plan responses to things. I'm more analytical because I'm looking for things like continuity errors. I'm looking for things like little Easter eggs and stuff like that. But this is the first time that I'm really watching and like analyzing performances, and it's just. Thank you, Elizabeth Mitchell, for giving us such a beautiful portrayal in Ingrid, because quite frankly, we needed it after the beginning of last season. We really needed it. And it's been nothing but a joy to watch.
I've been so happy watching these episodes. It's been night and day. Like, I enjoyed Zelena. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But like,
she's a different kind of villain.
Exactly. But then like watching Zelena, you're still kind of coming off of the Peter Pan. Like, it's so fresh when you're going into Zelena. So it's very awkward. But then Zelena, we got a nice like palette refresher. And then we get this beautiful performance. And I'm like, all right, we're getting to it.
With Zelena coming in, I feel like we were both appreciating her performance, but also so much of it was rooted in it's better than Peter Pan.
Yep.
And so we weren't really enjoying it for what it was. Like, and to be fair, I was doing a lot of comparing of Ingrid to Zelena, to be fair, but it still wasn't to the same length of like, and this is so good. And Peter Pan sucked. Like, yeah, it's not so much of that.
I feel like we've been able to get over it and move on. And this has been a great arc to move on during.
And when we see Zelena again, we'll get to just appreciate her performance,
which I'm very excited for. And this is nothing against the Zelena storyline. It's just
not at all.
It was directly off of that last story arc, and it was just nice to have something fun to watch.
Yeah, and we got the ultimate fun in Shattered Sight, which Zelena under Shattered Sight would have been fun.
That would have been hilarious.
Like, she's already unhinged
because she would have gone for Regina.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you would have had probably full on Green, the Wicked Witch of the West, going after the evil queen.
And then somehow Snow's like in the mixture.
Yeah.
While Charming's still behind bars.
Just imagine her like whacking people with her broom.
No, she'd just, fly around her broom and yell at them and scream and.
Basically, that's going to throw fireballs because that's what she does.
Oh, the witch cackle would have been perfect, though. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Bob's Burgers Season 8, Episode 12, The Hurt Soccer, and Episode 13, Cheer Up, Sleepy Jean. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. And if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Lauren and Katie and edited by Lauren.